What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're ready to tackle life. I hope you're feeling bold, feeling brave as the moon's in Aries. Let's get that cardinal fire lit. Yeah, we're going to look at the ways that we can see where maybe life has been or where you've been feeling that life has been maybe holding you back. Maybe this has been a certain narrative that you've been telling yourself. Mars is in Gemini. Maybe there's been a certain relationship that the dialogue has not been supportive, and now we're ready to change that dynamic. Or maybe you're just ready to bring a spark of life into, just bring new passion into your life. You know, the moon in Aries is going to be great for that. We're going to get all into that and more. But if you are new with me, well, again, welcome to my channel, or I'm going to say welcome to the Chariot Friends. And know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also a place for you if you have Cancer in your placement: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or wherever, Cancer. This one's for you. Or if you just want to just sync up with the moon, hang out with Cancers. You know, like, who doesn't want to do that? You're welcome here too. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'm talking about what sign is the full moon, like literally like 8 minutes ago when I'm recording this. I was like, yeah, we're just full of energy. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, what she's going for. Of course, it's all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, I'm not sure which direction I was going. Let's jump into it. All right. And just so y'all aware, your space has been cleansed. I have this sidebar while we're talking about full moons. One of my favorite kind of, if you want like a little new full moon ritual, you know, that time could be about a time of release, about letting go. The moon is pregnant. And so what I like to do as a releasing ceremony around the full moon time is I have some bay leaves, and I got one of those fine tip permanent markers, and I'll just write just like whatever I'm releasing, and just kind of release stuff throughout the day. I've lit 2 so far. And when you light that, it gives a nice aroma into the space too, and it's like when you smell that, smells like growth. I love that. So there's a little something extra there for you. But depending on when you're coming across this, happy Mercury Day. Mercury is associated with Wednesdays, and this is a great day for communication, a great day for getting the mind working, for maybe doing some just general busyness. Maybe you have some chores that you're needing to get done, need to go to the store. Maybe great time to, maybe if you want to go visit with some relatives, maybe this could be maybe catching up with some siblings. I actually got to catch up with my stepsister. we've been catching up more, and that's actually been really lovely. But what else? Maybe this could be, what else? Just reading, reading a book, a newspaper, taking in some sort of educational thing, or maybe you're teaching a class. This would be great for if you have any important conversations or any sort of important meetings. Maybe you have an interview. Try scheduling them on a Mercury day, or maybe around a Mercury hour. Maybe Mercury retrograde. Be a little mindful with the words. Be flexible. Be willing to adapt. Any given noted, you know, those words just tend to fly out how they do. But those are some ways that I would say working with Mercury could be very beneficial for you. And I would say with Mercury being retrograde right now, just be mindful during around, like, you know, the Wednesdays while Mercury is retrograde, just taking an extra mindful day to just kind of slow the mind down a little bit, making sure we're not, that the nervous system isn't too overworked or anything along those lines. And journaling can be a really great thing again for Mercury. Even doing any sort of like tactile things, Mercury can be great for that sort of dexterity. So that's even something to think about there. And now, before we do get into the lunar shenanigans, I do want to talk a little bit about a solar shenanigan that's happening, because on Jupiter Day, and how lovely, on Jupiter Day, the 22nd of August, the lovely warm sun is going to be entering into Virgo at 7:55 a.m. And again, that's going to be Pacific time. So if you have your sun in Virgo, happy birthday, Virgo. Hold on, let me get some balloons for you. Is it going to do it? There it is. So if this is your getting ready to come up on a solar return, this is your birthday month. Happy birthday month. And if you want to get a solar return reading, book one with me. I actually just did one for my partner. He has his sun in Virgo. It's coming up on the 15th. So Find out what's coming up for the year. He's actually home space is what's going to be the focus here, and yeah, it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. So that's actually fascinating. But if you also just make sure to take this time just to enjoy yourself. The sun is bringing this life. You're getting this soul fire that's lit up. So allow this time to be a very energizing time for you. And just in general, this Virgo part of your chart is being lit up, is getting this warmth to the sun. So tend to this. This is lighting up my second house. So I'm looking at my livelihood, my wealth, and boys, homies out here hustling. But no, we're doing the things. We're doing the things. We're getting the monies, all the stuff. Getting that stuff planned out there. So, but yeah, if you're great time for getting things in order with Virgo, getting into any sort of looking at any rituals that you're wanting to adopt as well. Maybe you're wanting, because I think routine sometimes can really kind of make Virgo a very unflattering sign. And Virgo's actually really incredible what that energy can accomplish, especially when you get into a routine. If you want to get into better health, maybe you start walking every day, or maybe you start prepping your meals, and then just over time your health just improved. I actually just connected with someone not too long ago, and I mean, she's been taking these steps, and like her health is completely improved. I mean, she said she's looking amazing. She always looked amazing, but she's feeling comfortable in herself now. So that's something that Virgo can bring as well. Really help you get grounded in the body. So enjoy when the sun is entering into this Virgo, and also enjoy when the moon is entering into Aries. Because the moon, and look at that, we're getting this fuel to get things started. I love that. The moon's going to be entering into Aries at about 4:01 p.m. And again, that's Pacific time. And she's forming a waning gibbous phase, or a disseminating moon. And with this, when I think about the moon in Aries, I feel like Aries is that cardinal fire. They're the initiators of the zodiac, the leaders of the zodiac. And I think it is about where you're ready to take your life to that next level. You're ready to increase in rank. Maybe you're ready to take on a different title. Maybe you're ready to go from, because I'm just thinking a number of things. Maybe you're wanting to think about getting settled down more, get more serious in a relationship, possibly. Maybe you're wanting to become a parent, possibly. Maybe this is something where you're wanting to change careers. But I feel with the moon in Aries, this is looking at where you're ready to grow, and what are some fears that you're experiencing behind that. Because it's normal Mars is the lord of Aries, the dispositor of this moon, and with Mars being in Gemini, maybe you're only seeing one way of doing something. Maybe that's why you've been maybe hesitant about if this is something that's coming up for you. Maybe if there's any areas that you're noticing that you're feeling hesitant in, you can look into that duality of Gemini. It's like, why is there that hesitancy though? Is that hesitancy justified even? Or is this something that maybe someone else has, maybe I've adopted someone else's fears? But now this is the time where the Aries energy wants you to be in your authority, to be the one that in rising up, people can start to look up to you too. That's the really beauty about Aries. I think that sometimes Aries can be looked at as just this sort of like real aggressive sign, but I think that thanks to myself, I think Aries is more so, it's about, yeah, life is going to come at you. It's going to be a battlefield sometime, but we don't let that discourage us. We say life, this kind of gives me similar kind of like how Sag kind of approaches, just like, but only with Aries, it's just like there's no talk. It's like I'm already in it. I really love what Aries can do. It keeps us, it gets us feeling more than alive too. This is not about just doing things for survival with Aries. This is doing things to feel not on top of everyone else, but feeling at your prime, feeling at your best, and again, getting others to feel at your best. Because they always say, or they don't always say, that phrase, it's always lonely, it's lonely at the top. Well, I feel like it doesn't have to be. When we're stop trying to be on top of each other and just start being on the top of ourselves in our game, then we have more support. Then there's a team of leaders that is rising, as opposed to people who are looking to be looking to be led. It's one thing when we have certain experts in your field that are leading the pack. Everyone has their own specific talents and expertise that really is what makes this world so beautiful. But it's only when we step into that light, when we come into that, this is who I am, and come with it like it's your birthright with Aries. Come in like yeah, I'm gonna start this thing. I'm gonna be and I'm gonna do it like no one else can do it, because it's true. No one. I'm a different astrologer than you would be, than they will be. I'm going to be a different musician than you will be, or in whatever we talk about. But I do feel that this is an energy to be brave in your energy, to allow yourself to, what do you want to be? And I feel like recognize too, honor the things that you are really great at. Give yourself that recognition, allow that rank, allow yourself to see you. You know, you have those, especially if you have those, like maybe those support, and hopefully you have these people who are supporting you, who are telling you like when you're feeling in the dumps, how great you are, how this, you're that, and that aren't just feeding you that just for not for words or anything along those lines. And allow yourself to get outside of yourself a little bit and see yourself as that leader that everyone else sees you to, and know that you are an integral part in this whole web together. So very empowering energy, as you can see, that I'm kind of feeling with this moon here. But that's what I love about Aries. That's what it can do. It's very similar to Scorpio. I find with the Aries suns that I know, and I only know a few, but one thing I've noticed, it's never been like that aggression that you typically hear from most of the Aries. I'm really good friends with one Aries sun here. We've known her for a number of years. I talked about her a couple of times before. I mean, she's the sweetest thing, and she's the top at what she's doing. That's what everyone knows her. You know, she's not like it's this boastful look at me, I'm so great. She's just herself. She's herself, and she brings her best in everything that, you know, every time she's there. And whatever that looks like. And that's the thing too. It's not meant to, sometimes you're gonna hit that, you're gonna have those days where you're like, yeah, man, I'm really feeling on top. And some days you're like, yeah, I'm still gonna bring it, but I'm bringing it from like here. I'm gonna bring it from here. You don't gotta be on all the time with Aries. And I think that's something to remember too. You have to allow yourself that balance, allow yourself to kind of not just be in the leader position too, but also allow yourself to be led. We don't know it all. There are certain things that we're going to be great at, and there are other things that we need improvement. My astrology, I feel confident in my cooking, my herbology, and even in those areas I could definitely learn more. But I also acknowledge where my tech work could use some work. It's improved too. It's improved really great. But I'm still have room for growth there. So that's what I'm getting with this moon in Aries. I kind of like this energy. And if you have your moon in Aries, this is really, I like this as a placement. I feel look to what Mars is doing in your chart, because Mars will be the dispositor of that moon. And this is where I find a moon in Aries is a very active moon. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but I would recommend doing some sort of like on a simplest scale, at least do some walking and do some yoga, something to help keep that heat moving and to keep your inspiration going to. I find Aries to be a very prolific sign in wherever that placement happens to be. Because again, it's that cardinal fire. They're just like bam, bam, bam. They're living like it's no tomorrow. So let's crank. There's no time like the present. Like, why? No, let's do this today. Actually, I'm ready. So I find, just something to get the energy moving. But look at where this is coming up in your chart. I actually know someone with I'm thinking of one in particular. She has her moon in Aries in the 5th house. And so I would even suggest like doing either some sort of creative work. Maybe if she has any sort of like, not even, she doesn't have any kids, but I'm like, maybe if you want to hang out with one of our friends, her daughter is fantastic. They were actually just hanging out. All three of them were hanging out not too long ago. But maybe hanging around kids, as far as like being in that sort of like energy, as far as just being able to relax, to allow yourself to your inner child to get the experience that it didn't get when you were in that child state, or to tap into her son's in Scorpio, so it's like even to doing some sort of creative endeavor, maybe some sort of like writing, drawing. We were actually just kind of talking about that. So those are some things that I say. Aries is an active energy. It's a masculine energy. So it's needing to be active in some sort of way. It's needing to, the energy is needing to move with that. So that is something that I would recommend. And whatever this looks like for you, this could be wherever you're good at. Maybe you want to get the energy moving where you got a bunch of numbers in your head. Let's do some formulas. Just something where you just, but again, I would say be mindful of pushing yourself too hard. Honor your energies. There's a time where we're on the move and a time where we do need to rest as well and kind of convalesce. So just pay attention to that. Now, let's get into the void of course energy. Because on Venus Day, Friday, the 23rd of August, at about 5, the moon is going to go void of course from 5:44 a.m. to about 5 p.m. So we're looking at about an 11-hour, 16-minute void of course time there. So what I like to think about with the void of course, that this is the time when the moon is reflecting over what happened during this period of time. What did I take from this moon in Aries? What do I need to... And it's not a great time for starting up anything because there's no emotional energy behind it. There's not that drive behind it. So if you get a lot of, let's say, during ideas during this time, and maybe some things having to come up during the void of course, write that stuff down and see how you feel. If you want to invest in that, let's say you want to maybe during this moon you think about, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Maybe I want to take like an art class, a yoga class. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna do this, and then you get to Taurus and you're like, you know what? Maybe I only have time for one of those things. So give it some time if anything comes up during the void of course, but it's when the moon forms her final aspect with the celestial body, and the aspect that she's forming is a trine with Mercury retrograde. And what I like about this is the trine energy is when the planets are 120 degrees apart from one another. So you have those like elements. In this instance, we have Mercury in Leo, the moon in Aries. But it's when you have those elements that are in line there. And the trines have this Jupiterian effect. There's this flow, there's this expansion, there's opportunities for new beginnings with the trine. So this could be where you've been reflecting over this moon. It's like, you know what, I have been maybe telling myself this, I have been doing that. You know what, I think I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to start that thing again. I'm going to have that conversation. You know, I'm going to ask my boss for that promotion. I'm going to start my business, whatever that thing is. It can be where, okay, and maybe it's not necessarily again that's starting it up, but now we're like, okay, I'm making these moves. What would be my first steps? What would that look like? Let's get maybe the first 10 steps down, first 5 steps down, however much you have the capacity for, and then moving it along that way. But I find too with the void of course, making sure to take some time to just rest. This could be a great opportunity to work while we're talking on the sun having just entered into Virgo. What are some rituals that you can produce or work into your time? Maybe your ritual is working more with the void of course, taking that time to do some meditation, do some deep breathing, wrap some things up, close some stuff out. I like to see, can I clean up around the kitchen, or is there any laundry that I need to do? I need to wipe down a desk here. Like whatever that's looking like, sweep, file some, do some bills, whatever that's looking like, check on subscriptions, whatever. This is a great time to get some things in order. Just allow yourself some time to decompress somewhere in that time. If you can even just take a moment, maybe you're on the job, maybe you got a long shift, just take some time throughout that day, that Venus day, and just kind of like, okay, I'm centered, feeling all right. Maybe I'm a little frazzled. Okay, maybe I need to take 2 more breaths. But just really take a time to, I feel like, actively making sure to check in as well with the void of course energies. Nice little energies that are meant to support you throughout this journey. So, and if you want to feel a little extra support as well, if you want to know how want to work with these energies more personally, one way to do that is to join my moon group. The first group is actually going to be on September 2nd. I'm going to have one every month for the new moons indefinitely. So it's a really cool group. We work with the energies. We work in little small groups, very intimate setting. We're all going to become friends. And we look at each other's, we're going to analyze the charts, kind of talk about the topics, not kind of, talk about the topics that are coming up in that. What are some themes that we can work in that? We can get as deep or as shallow as you want, and kind of get an idea of how we're going to work over this area of your chart, not just for the month. We're going to do for like a 27-month span. So it's like when you pay once for the thing, you're in it for that 27 months, and we're meeting every 9 months for that. It's just a regular thing. There's going to be some extra added on. So if that's something you're curious about, if you have any questions about that, I have links for that all down in the description box below. But I also offer other services, like I was saying, the solar return charts. I'm thinking about when you sign up, offering like a free lunar return if you happen to notice maybe there's a particularly tough a month that you're feeling a lot and want to kind of get down into. And I'm working on what that is. Even like maybe making a lunar return course a part of when you join, that'd be like something free that you would get with me. So all types of bonuses and discounts too with that. But again, if that's something that resonates with you all, that's down in the description box below. Now, before we get into this thing, just so you know, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. Oh, actually, let me go ahead and switch over and apply, because of like, how are you going to see the cards? But yeah, no, they're not gender-specific readings. But before we get into this, I'd like to bring some good vibes in here. We're getting better about this practice slowly but surely. So adjust your volume if you need to, but let's get ringing and let's get a... Yeah. All right. We are feeling it. Let's get into this thing. Ooh, look at this one. All right, so for your general energy of the day, you have the orange dragon card here. And this is a card of bring soul families and communities together. And it spreads belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. And that's what leaders do. Yeah, I feel with this Aries energy, that's really fascinating. I feel that this could be you. I feel for some, maybe starting your own soul family. Maybe you've been looking for this thing for a while. You haven't found, you've been having troubles maybe being led. Maybe there are groups that just aren't quite doing it. This could be where you create your own soul family. Maybe you start your own neighborhood walking group, for example. Or maybe you start your own... I was just thinking like a community gym. That would be really cool. Maybe a bunch of people could go down. Who knows how that looks? Or maybe we pool equipment, whatever that looks like. But there is this thing here with this spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. It's allowing everyone to... Because I feel like sometimes you would think like a room full of leaders, nothing's going to get done. It's just going to be a lot of butting heads. But I do feel like it's not coming in here to compete with one another with that Martian energy. It's different. It's more so coming in with a collaborative approach. Like my fire and your fire can spark this new fire. We can create, I like how this dragon is holding these two here. Here's your energy. Here's my energy here. What can we make together with this? How can they see these vines kind of hanging off of them? What can we intertwine? What dragon are we going to make manifest in this? And how can we all come together as a community? How can it be where we can be confident in what we're doing, but there is this space for everyone to feel like they belong? Feel that there is this place that everyone kind of has their their voice. This is giving me a very kind of Six of Wands energy, feeling celebrated in finding those places where you feel celebrated where you feel like you can be a leader, where you feel that the energy inspires you, supports you to do more, and check in with that. How is the rhetoric in the groups that you're involved in, from your online groups to your soul families to your regular family, whether your soul family too, but you know what I mean. And how is your connection? I even would say with your community. I'd even go as far as say, how connected are you with your neighborhood? I feel like that's something that we all could definitely bring a bit more work in to come together in. This could be maybe starting different, and not necessarily saying you, but maybe we can, let me get some tarot on this and get some details with that. But maybe you've been looking for a certain cause. Maybe you're the type. I was just talking with someone who's they meet and play Dungeons and Dragons, and I really love that. But I was like, if you can't find the group that supports that, then create your own group. I remember when I was growing up, you could go to this in Michigan City. The Toys R Us used to have these Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments that you could just kind of everyone kind of came together. But then after they stopped doing those, you had to host things that different people's had to find kind of like minds and things for those specific stuff. Maybe, but hold on, let's get a little bit more into this. Huh? How fascinating. Thanks, Divine Self. All right, so you have the Ten of Wands, the one of the special major arcana cards in this deck, the Unity card, and the King of Wands here. Now, what I'm feeling with this King of Wands, I'm really getting a lot of attention to his fire here, but it feels hot like duh, but hot like upset, hot like maybe something happened here, possibly with the Ten of Swords, where you felt betrayed in some sort of way. Maybe this was multiple ways. This could have been like maybe you felt ostracized by your group, or maybe there wasn't this sense of unity with this Unity card here. How do you feel this at peace? Look at how they're all intermingling with one another. They're able to sleep in front of one another. They feel so relaxed and so safe. There's no tension. Everyone's sprawled out. Can you say the same? Not necessarily that you would just take a nap, but that you at least feel comfortable enough where or if there was any tension, that you have a safe space to talk about it, that we can address it, let it be what it is, and move forward. That Sun in Gemini, that Ten in Swords, we can rise above. Let the day be today, move on. I remember working with this person at this diner in Florida. Juan, I miss him. But we would have our days sometimes when it would be just hella busy. We'd get slammed, and there might be some choice words in the moment. But then when it's done, it's done. Literally, like whatever happened in that moment, it's just done. It happened. The heat. It's just like, is it worth? I feel for some, I'm getting like is this the hill that you want to die on? Is this the forest that you want to set ablaze? Like the fire, let something heat you up here. Or do you want to give your attention elsewhere? Be more in charge of your energy? I'm getting with that. The King of Wands, I remember reading with the court cards, they're associated with certain degrees of the zodiac. And the King of Wands is the first 20 degrees of Sagittarius and the last 10 of Scorpio. So I'm even getting with that maybe it's even remembering how it was. You remember how it was even as a kid? It was so easy. It was a lot easier, I think, to make friends, to join group, because you're kind of forced in a setting, whether this be a school setting, whatever it is. So now I feel like it's kind of going back into that. It's like, okay, if you want to find this sense of community, the soul family, then we have to go out there. Again, maybe you had something that either has been holding you down, or even this Ten of Swords could be something where you're really kind of feeling at a low here, really feeling at your rock bottom. The Sun in Gemini. Gemini, there's that duality. You could see this as you're kind of all alone in this, that no one but understand, is even what I'm kind of getting with this, that we're getting in our heads that air energy. But there are groups for that. And we've all gone through some version of it. Maybe not to the exact degree, but there are different support things for that. Surprising amount of, and I don't even think it's surprising. I think that there's always been this good, but I don't think it's highlighted as much. It's only when we've had like, okay, maybe there's been enough bad, maybe we'll throw in a nugget of good. It's not balanced. And so I feel that the more that we can spread this belonging, this oneness, this empathy, even this understanding, I'm even again with Mars. Mars in traditional astrology, he rejoices in the 6th house, which is a house of like battlefields, enemies, competition, just war, and it's so aggressive. And Mars is more than that. It's just like, I feel like there's something here about you're coming at things in a different way here. or that or it doesn't have to feel like we're competing against each other. That we're here, we're here together. Here, it's meant to work together. It's let me get some more on this. All right. That King of Cups. Easy by himself. So you got the King of Cups here. Oh, the Six of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. And this Ace of Wands here is giving me like this, like something that's trying to spur you into action. That's wanting to, and not in a way that's forcing you into something, but it's wanting you to. I'm getting this energy of being involved with something where we're sharing energies of motivation here. This Ace of Wands to the Six of Cups, being in this collaborative flow. The Six of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio, and there's this thing here I'm getting with. How have you been sharing your energies? Have you been? Oh, and we have the Knight of Swords here. Look at that little surprise Knight of Swords. Have you been? How have you been sharing your energy? Have you been in this place where we've not? Maybe you've put your own feelings aside. Or maybe even with this Four of Cups, it's like we've adopted another. It's almost like you've adopted another voice, another personality. I'm just thinking how we go from the Three of Cups to the Four of Cups, and it's like maybe this Four of Cups, this bird up here, is like you've maybe lost your voice a little bit. That or something has kind of tainted this, not tainted the water, but just something that's not quite yours. This idea here, maybe it was this sort of this group concept, this family concept that wasn't bringing this belonging, but now you're in this place, and this is going to be a challenge with the Knight of Swords when you're trying to break these patterns here. There's going to be some moments where I feel this Knight of Swords goes through like an overhaul in a sense is what I'm getting with this. He was associated with the first 20 of Aquarius and the last 10 of Capricorn, and I feel that you are the people around you, your soul family, that's your legacy. Those people that you leave, those that you form unity with, they're a part of that. That's what you're associated with. Is what I'm getting with this. And it's like, do I want to choose to associate with this, or do I want to take something different here with this? This is the first 20 of Pisces, last of Aquarius. And so it's like maybe you're ready to move something here. You're seeing you're seeing another side to this. You see that it's like maybe you've been in something where you had to pick either one side or another. You see how this calm over here, this side over here. You know what? You're choosing the middle. You choose. You know what? I'm gonna choose my way. I'm gonna choose my way. I'm gonna choose my soul family. I'm not gonna be in a place where I'm even getting like an ultimatum type of energy here with the King of Cups. That's interesting. So being in your kind of like emotional sovereignty is another word that I'm coming through. This cocoon here. Something's evolving inside. Something's growing. Something's sharing. And I think that this King of Cups is feeling moved. I think it's when you start to attract more of those people. You start getting involved with in relationships. It's like when you experience like reciprocity like in a relationship feels like, and then when someone else is willing to take that step where we can have this, like, you know what, I was in this place and I didn't even being able to, I've just, how do I want to put this? Like, we're able to have a different dialogue or something, speak more openly here, speak from the heart, still speak and not feel like we have to hold back our heat, this King of Wands. There's a balance here with this King of Wands and King of Cups energy. You don't feel stifled, and I like that. But I feel that it's something where the Six of Cups too, you have to maybe look past, you know, there's this past energy that's trying to that's trying to be left behind, a past narrative here. In this Ace of Wands, it's, you can take this motion. I love all this heat. You can take this motion, make these moves when you're ready. And know that, I feel like there's knowing that there is that support out there for you in some capacity here. Let's get a little advice from Mars. All right, last little bit here. So you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and then the Knight of Wands here. And oh, I was about to stop the video. Hold on, let's switch back over. I want to do that. Not yet. the Nine of Pentacles. It's Venus in Virgo. Venus is looking at, she's just looking at how her day-to-day's been running. Look at where has she been getting in the ritual, maybe, of putting herself second. It's one thing to do it sometimes, but it's when you're doing it all the time. It's like when you're giving too much of yourself here. When this Nine of Cups, it's like, I like the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles together, because this is giving me this energy of creating the environment that you're wanting to wish. This is creating Empress dreams. The Nine of Pentacles is, you're thinking about that, like you're beginning in the ritual of Venus with Venus in Virgo, which is the Empress. So what are some things that you want to focus your energy on here with the Knight of Wands, first 20 of Leo, last of Cancers? What are some things you want to focus that solar energy in? What are your values? Who are you, you know, with this Knight of Wands? And let that energy run free. That's what I'm getting with him. Even because the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are moving fast. And I feel that when you start making these changes, that's what's happening. The growth is happening really fast. It's and maybe not fast, maybe I would say not faster than you think. Faster than you think. Sometimes it's maybe not always as fast as we would like until we're in it, and it's just like, oh, I remember sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to, like, can we celebrate this growth a little bit? And then, like, you get, like, a little heavier lessons, and it's just like, oh, you know what, you're right. That was the perfect pace. You're right, universe. I mean, who am I? So, oh, goodness. But I think that's all I got for you there. Just some things to think about. Some things to think about. I'm getting one last thing. It's like and it's like you're a leader, and it's like on the tip of my tongue. I'm just gonna leave that. I think maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just you're a leader. you're a leader, so act like it. And whatever that looked like for you, that doesn't mean you have to lead like a stadium of people or a country. It's more so you could lead a group. You could lead your kids, your children, whatever that's like, a group of dogs, one dog. But alrighty, I think I'm gonna leave that there. A little something to think about. But if you like that, anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. Share this thing if you know someone who might resonate with this, who could get some value from this. And subscribe there, King of Wands. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit, if you want to see what else is going on in the celestial news, then come over to my other channel, Alchemist State. I do weekly videos there. I also do videos, I'm actually about to do one of them now. I do videos talking about different planetary placements, and that's just a little mini thing that I've been kind of starting up when I just have time to make those. So there's no real kind of rhyme or reason to it. I try to have one out once a day. That doesn't always happen, but that's the aims for that. And the point, and also, is to comment on that if you have those placements. And let me get shuffle for your surprise cards here. But yeah, just do I think that's all I got for you. All the housekeeping in down in the description box below. But yeah, let me get you surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Explain myself. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, look at, I love that. Look at you. You got the milk and honey card. That's, what's the word I'm looking for? That's very Empress. It's not the word I was looking for. There's a better word than that. But this milk and honey card, this is giving me that's a real kind of treat yourself type of energy. I love how this, what do I want to say with this? I feel with this milk and honey, it's like this elephant's kind of blissed out a little bit. It's almost in a surprise kind of way. It's, you know, when you find those groups, when you get inside that thing that's just like, oh my gosh, like it's nice to be amongst these sort of like-minded people who are very much individuals. We don't agree on everything, but there are these people we connect on the same one level, and we all have different walks of life that we're bringing to this one thing that enriches that even more. And that's where I feel like this milk and honey is just you swimming, indulging in this, and just really being in that presence, savoring the sweetness of this moment, of this happiness. Like finally, like things feel like they're really flowing. Things feel really, There's even something about here like a safe to be vulnerable here. I mean, this elephant is just bathing in this milk, not ashamed. I mean, listen, if that's a community, hey. but more so, what I mean is just that it just seems that there's this like, there's no judgment here. We're just here to bask in sunshine and rainbows and just kind of be in this thing to raise the vibration, to have a better understanding. And that two very different things, that milk and honey, you could bring that milk, I could bring the honey, and then it can make this totally different sweet experience. And there's this rainbows and there are elephants, and they're all just, everyone is enjoying in this. There's this collaboration here, this union, this conjunction, if you will, of milk and honey. I just want to call that. Maybe. We'll see about that. But until next time, hopefully that made sense. There's something very nourishing about this too. That's interesting. Something about, I'm just thinking about just the milk from, you know, just when you think about just from an animal or even from a parent to a baby. Just there's something about this nurturing. There's a safety here. There's this. That's very interesting. But being in something in a communities and soul families, and maybe it's even just maybe bringing some of that sweetness there, something like that. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. So until the next one, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration to the roof. Keep eyes on the moon. Seize the day and the night. And I will catch you on the next one, Venus Day.